If you are a U.S. citizen, a green card holder, or someone currently waiting for your immigration case to be approved, you may have seen headlines this week about new DMV changes that are supposedly affecting immigrants across the country. Perhaps a friend sent you a message, or you saw something on social media that made your heart skip a beat. Maybe you are wondering if this affects your driver's license, your ability to travel, or even your status in this country. I understand that feeling completely. The fear of the unknown is real, and when it comes to immigration, even small rumors can feel overwhelming. But here's what I want you to know right from the start. My goal today is not to scare you. My goal is to explain calmly, clearly, and honestly what these changes actually are, who they affect, and most importantly, who they do not affect. My name is Daniel, and I've been following U.S. immigration news closely for many years now. I believe you deserve the truth, not rumors, not panic, just the facts explained in a way that makes sense. So take a breath, settle in, and let us go through this together. Before we continue, I want to be very clear about something important. I am not an immigration attorney. I am not a government official. I am not representing any agency or organization. What I share with you today is for informational purposes only, based on publicly available news and official announcements. Every immigration situation is unique, and if you have specific legal questions about your case, please speak with a qualified immigration lawyer. My role here is simply to help you understand the news in plain, simple language so that you can make informed decisions for yourself and your family. Now, let us talk about what actually happened this week regarding DMV changes. Several states have quietly updated their policies regarding driver's license applications and renewals, particularly as they relate to documentation requirements for non-citizens. These changes have been rolling out gradually, and because they were not announced with major press conferences or national headlines, many people are just now hearing about them. The word quietly in these headlines makes it sound secretive or suspicious, but the reality is much simpler. State DMV offices regularly update their procedures. They adjust forms, change documentation requirements, and implement new federal guidelines throughout the year. Most of these updates happen without fanfare because, frankly, they are administrative in nature. However, when these changes involve the word immigrant, the news tends to spread quickly, often with more fear attached than is necessary. So, what are these specific changes? In several states, the DMV is now requiring updated documentation for non-citizens who are renewing their driver's licenses. This means that if you hold a green card, a work visa, a student visa, or another form of authorized status, you may be asked to provide your most current immigration documents when you renew your license. This is not entirely new. Many states have had similar requirements for years. What is new in some states is that the verification process is now being linked more directly to federal databases, which means the DMV can check your status in real time, rather than relying solely on the documents you bring in. For most people, this simply means the process may take a few extra minutes at the counter. For some, it may mean receiving a license with an expiration date that matches your authorized stay in the country, rather than the standard multi-year license. Now, let us talk about who this affects and who it does not affect, because this is where a lot of confusion happens. If you are a naturalized U.S. citizen, meaning you went through the citizenship process and took the oath of allegiance, these changes do not affect you in any significant way. You are a citizen. Your rights to a standard driver's license are exactly the same as someone born in the United States. If the DMV asks for proof of citizenship, you can provide your naturalization certificate or your U.S. passport. That is it. There is nothing more to worry about. If you are a citizen by birth, whether you were born in the U.S. or born abroad to American parents, these changes also do not affect you. You will continue to renew your license just as you always have. If you are a green card holder, also known as a lawful permanent resident, these changes may affect you in a minor way. Some states are now asking green card holders to show their current green card when renewing their license. If your green card is expired, but you have a valid extension stamp or letter from USCIS, you should bring that documentation with you. The key point here is that green card holders are lawful permanent residents. You have the legal right to live and work in this country permanently. A change in DMV documentation requirements does not change your immigration status. It is simply an administrative step to verify that you are who you say you are. In most cases, this process is smooth and straightforward. If you are currently waiting for your green card to be renewed and you only have a temporary stamp or an I-797 receipt notice, bring those documents with you. Most states will accept them as proof of your continued lawful status. For those of you holding visas, such as H-1B work visas, F-1 student visas, L-1 visas, or other temporary categories, these changes may be slightly more noticeable. Some states are now issuing driver's licenses that expire on the same date as your visa or authorized stay. This is actually not a new practice in many places, but it is expanding to more states. The reason behind this is straightforward. The state wants to ensure that your driving privileges are aligned with your legal authorization to be in the country. If your visa is extended or your status changes, you will simply need to visit the DMV with your updated documents to get a new license. This may feel inconvenient, but it is not a punishment or a negative mark against you. It is simply how the system is designed to work. Let me address some common myths that are spreading online, because I know you may have seen some frightening claims. First, there is a rumor that immigrants will no longer be able to get driver's licenses at all. This is absolutely false. Lawful immigrants, whether permanent residents or temporary visa holders, continue to have the right to obtain driver's licenses in every state. Some states even offer licenses to undocumented immigrants for driving purposes, though these licenses are marked differently and cannot be used for federal identification. The changes we are discussing this week do not take away anyone's ability to get a license. They simply update the documentation requirements and verification processes. Second, there is a myth that these changes mean the government is tracking immigrants more closely through their driver's licenses. While it is true that some states are now using real-time verification with federal databases, this is not new surveillance. USCIS has maintained these databases for years, and states have been gradually connecting to them to prevent fraud and ensure accuracy. If you are here legally and your documents are in order, this verification process will simply confirm what you already know, that you are authorized to be here. It is not a reason for concern. Third, some people are worried that a mistake at the DMV could affect their immigration case. Let me be very clear about this. The DMV does not have the authority to change your immigration status. If there is a discrepancy or a question about your documents, the DMV may ask you to provide additional paperwork, but they cannot deport you. They cannot revoke your visa, and they cannot deny your green card application. Those decisions are made by USCIS, by immigration courts, and by other federal agencies, not by your local DMV office. So if you encounter an issue at the DMV, take a breath. It is likely a paperwork issue that can be resolved with the correct documents. Let me take a moment to talk about the difference between delays and denials, because this comes up often. If the DMV tells you they need more documentation, or that they need to verify your status before issuing your license, this is a delay, not a denial. It does not mean you are in trouble. It does not mean something is wrong with your immigration case. It simply means the system needs more information to complete the process. In the vast majority of cases, once you provide the requested documents, your license will be issued without any further problems. Please do not assume the worst when you encounter a delay. The immigration and motor vehicle systems are large, complex, and sometimes slow, but slow does not mean hostile. Now, let me share some practical guidance for what you should do going forward. First, before you visit the DMV, gather all of your immigration documents. This includes your green card, your passport, your visa, your I-94 arrival record, any USCIS receipt notices, and any approval notices you have received. Having these documents ready will make your visit smoother and reduce the chances of being asked to come back. Second, check your state's DMV website before you go. Many states have updated their requirements and posted clear lists of acceptable documents online. Taking 10 minutes to review this information could save you hours of frustration. Third, if you are waiting for USCIS to process a renewal or an application, bring whatever interim documentation you have. Receipt notices, biometrics appointment letters, and extension stamps are all valid proof that your case is pending. What should you not panic about? You should not panic about headlines that use words like crackdown or targeting. These words are designed to generate clicks, not to inform you. The reality is that these DMV changes are administrative updates, not enforcement actions. You should not panic if you receive a license with a shorter expiration date. This is normal for non-citizens in many states and does not reflect negatively on you. You should not panic if you are asked for additional documentation. This is part of the normal verification process and is not a sign that you are under investigation. Let me provide some context about what is happening more broadly with immigration processing right now. USCIS continues to work through significant backlogs from recent years. Processing times for green card renewals, citizenship applications, and visa extensions remain longer than many people would like. If you are waiting for a decision on your case, please know that silence from USCIS does not mean something is wrong. The agency processes millions of cases each year, and delays are unfortunately common. Many of you have been waiting months, sometimes years, for updates on your applications. This is exhausting and frustrating, and I want you to know that your feelings are valid. But please do not let DMV headlines add to your stress. The two systems, while connected, operate independently. A delay at the DMV does not affect your USCIS case, and vice versa. I also want to acknowledge the emotional weight that many of you carry every day. The immigration journey is not easy. Whether you are a green card holder who has lived here for decades, a naturalized citizen who worked hard to earn your place, or someone still waiting for approval, the constant news cycle can feel overwhelming. Every headline that mentions immigration can trigger anxiety, even when the news does not apply to you. This is a normal response to years of uncertainty and stress. You are not alone in feeling this way. Millions of people across this country share your experience, and many of them are watching this video right now, just like you, looking for clarity and reassurance. So, let me offer that reassurance clearly. The DMV changes we discussed today are procedural updates, not attacks on your rights. They affect documentation requirements, not your legal status. They are designed to ensure accuracy and prevent fraud, not to make your life harder. For the vast majority of lawful immigrants and citizens, these changes will be barely noticeable. You may need to bring an extra document to your next DMV visit. You may wait a few extra minutes for verification, but your license will be issued, your status will remain intact, and your life will continue as normal. The immigration system in this country, for all its flaws and frustrations, is built on laws, courts, evidence, and due process. Changes do not happen overnight. Decisions are not made arbitrarily. If something were to truly threaten your status or your rights, there would be legal processes, notices, hearings, and opportunities to respond. You would not find out through a viral social media post. You would not be caught off guard by a quiet DMV update. The system, however slow, is designed to give you time and information to protect yourself. As we come to the end of this video, I want to summarize what we have covered. This week, several states updated their DMV documentation requirements for non-citizens. These changes involve more thorough verification of immigration status and may result in licenses that expire in alignment with your authorized stay. These changes affect documentation, not rights. They affect process, not status. Naturalized citizens and citizens by birth are not affected in any meaningful way. Green card holders may need to show updated cards or renewal receipts, Visa holders may receive licenses with expiration dates matching their visas. None of these changes give the DMV authority over your immigration case, and none of them should cause you to panic. I encourage you to stay informed, but to choose your information sources carefully. Look for official announcements from your state's DMV and from USCIS. Be skeptical of headlines designed to frighten you. And remember that understanding the news is more important than simply reacting to it. If you found this explanation helpful, I invite you to stay with this channel for future updates. I will continue to break down immigration news in a calm, clear, and honest way. If you have questions or topics you would like me to cover, please feel free to leave a comment below. I read as many as I can, and your feedback helps me understand what matters most to you. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for trusting me to explain something that can feel so personal and so important. I know that watching immigration news can be stressful, and I appreciate your patience in listening to the full explanation rather than just the headline. Please take care of yourself, take care of your family, and remember that knowledge is your greatest protection against fear. You're informed now, you are prepared, and you are going to be okay. Until next time, stay calm, stay hopeful, and stay informed.